Welcome to the third and final part of the Python AI workshop. Today we'll be building a chatbot application using a mathematical concept called Markov chain bots. So let's begin. Here's a little introduction. I'm Vedant Raghuvanshi. I'm electrical engineering undergraduate from NIT Rourkela, and I have worked previously in few Python frameworks. They are Django, Flask. Done a few projects on data analysis and GUI development. We are bringing this workshop in with partnership from MLH. MLH is Major League Hacking. MLH is a non-profit organization which works and for fostering coding education among students and uh, increasing the open source culture among institutes throughout US and other countries also. So here's a short review of what we'll be doing today. I hope you would have attended the last session. I'll be continuing. I'll be introducing a new topic today, and continuing. We'll be starting along from that. So I'll be copy pasting this link in the chat. Please visit this link to understand what we will be building today. It is MLH localhost Markov glitch hosted on Glitch website. I pasted the link in the chat. Please visit it. It is a sample application of what we'll be building today. Yeah, so if you would have followed, you would have seen a chatbot type application in which there is a text box for entering messages by our side, a text box for entering the ID of or a handle of any Twitter account. And so I'll explain it how the application goes on. Yeah, so as it is written here in the first text box, we will write handle of any account with whom we want to chat, and then in the bottom text box we'll be entering a message. So with the help of a library which we'll be using in subsequent application, it will be generating some meaningful responses based on a mathematical model. And the Twitter API which we will be using which be used to scrape almost 10,000 tweets from that person's accounts. So the library, the mathematical model will be working on the tweets and returning us some meaningful responses. So the backend of this application is hosted on Flask framework, and we won't be requiring to do that. We'll be just doing the main logic part of the application. So the library which we will be going to use is known as Markovify. So subsequently, I'll be introducing you to the library and a small mathematical concept of Markov chains. So here is a quick review of how we'll be building the application. So you will be forking the already made code repository on Glitch, and then we will be writing and editing some code of that library. And if anything wrong happens, we'll be debugging the code, and then finally we'll be completing the application. We'll be testing it, and then you all will be taking a quiz. So that's it. So here's a quick review on how are we going to do that. So if you can follow me, there's a link to at the bottom of the page of the Markovify Python library. It is made by a user known as JS Wine. So for further reading and to understand at a deeper level what all you can do with the help of the library, please visit its GitHub, and you will also find the documentation there. I'll also paste this in the chat. Yeah, so finally we'll come on to the mathematical concept of Markov chains. So there are a few points written here. I would like to add a proper definition to them. So what is a Markov chain? Markov chain is a mathematical model that experiences change of states. These change of states happen on the basis of a predefined probabilistic model with the condition that when you jump from one state to the other, you do not require the previous history of coming to that state. In simple words, which means is that the probability of jumping onto new state is only and only dependent on the present state and time we have elapsed on the present state. So quickly read upon what is written in this. So there are lots and lots of applications of Markov chain concepts. They are primarily used in economics, in finance, in game theory, and to develop sophisticated machine learning models. It is used. So I'll be forwarding to the slides. Here's a simple, in the few upcoming slides, we'll be discussing a simple example of how a Markov chain works. After that, I'll be asking you a simple question based on probability, which will be defined, which will be based on this Markov chain concept only. So please go through what is written in the slides. So a simple example of Markov chain is given here. So it says that let's assume that we are only having two types of weather. One is sunny and cloudy. And let's say there is a task given to us, and the task is that we have to guess whether the weather tomorrow will be sunny or cloudy. And how will be accomplishing that task? Will be having some logs of previous days and the data of what the weather was on that days. So for example, as you can see here, it is written that it is given a fact there that if any day was cloudy, we'll be having 25% of the time next day was sunny, and 75% of the time next was cloudy. So we'll be using this information to formulate some easy probability predictions. So as you can see there, after 4 subsequent cloudy days, we are having a sunny day. And then again, after having a sunny day, we'll be having 4 cloudy days and again a sunny day. So it satisfies the assertion given here: 25% of the time next day was sunny and 75% of the time next day was cloudy. So let's go to the next slide. So it says that if in total there are 8 days that come after cloudy days, how many of those are cloudy and how many of them are sunny? So it is simple probability as it is written here. 6 of the days after cloudy days are also cloudy, and 2 of the days after cloudy days are sunny. So these 2 days, if I tell the pointer, are this sunny day and this the sunny day at last. So if you calculate the probability, what is it? 2 sunny days. The probability of having a sunny day is 2, as we had 2 days here, upon 8 which are cloudy days after it. So that is 25%. And for the cloudy days, it will be 6 cloudy days upon total 8 days. So that will be 75%. So this model, this simple example satisfies a Markov chain. So if for other example, let's say, let's jump back to class 11th and 12th JEE problems. In mathematics, we had simple problems like, for example, we had a bag which was full of multicolored balls, and we were asked to find a probability of picking a ball of a given colored. So what the probability was? The probability was total number of balls in the bag and total numbers of balls in the given color. So at this present state, this probability model does not satisfy Markov chain, because as I told you, the important factor for satisfaction of Markov condition was that your present probability of jumping onto next state should not depend on how you came to the current state. To simplify in easy words, let's say I gave you the question to pick a red ball from the given bag. So let's say there were total number of 8 balls, and there were 3 red balls. So at presently the probability of picking a red ball will be 3 upon 8. But next time when I tell you to pick up a red ball, so what will be the probability? One of the red balls will be reduced. So now there will be only 2 red balls, and total number of balls will also be 7. So the probability will be 2 by 7. So although our objective remained the same, but since our probability is different now, this condition won't be satisfying a Markov criterion. To make it satisfy Markov criterion, what we can do is we can add an extra constraint that anytime we pick up a ball, we have to replace it again with the ball of given color. So in this way, total number of balls will be constant and total number of balls of given color will be constant. So if we find any subsequent probabilities, then they will be only dependent on probability of their current state and not on the past states. So here is a simple graph question. As you can read it, a time homogeneous Markov chain is given here. Here is a state A, here is a state B, and these labels represent the probability of changing from that state to the other state. So I want you to find the answer to the given question. What is the probability that a process beginning at A, beginning at this level, ends on B after 2 moves? So as soon as you find the answer, please write it in the chat box. Then I'll be explaining you how it happens. One of the extra point here is that this time homogeneous condition makes this a Markov satisfying state. Although you won't be requiring it, it is a simple mathematical probability problem. Again, repeating the question, you have to find out the probability of coming to state B from state A after 2 moves. Do write in the answer in the chat once you do it. And if you face any problem with that, please tell me. I'll be waiting for a minute, then I'll be resuming on to the next slide. These are the part of simple mathematical introduction to give you an insight on how Markovify library will work. So it is important to know a bit of introductory mathematics. I'll resume the slides on 621. Till then, you can go ahead and solve the problem.
0.35?
Yeah. Abel bhaiya, आप क्या बोल रहे हो?
Maybe I'm also following.
Okay, sure. Yeah, 0.35 is correct answer. As it is, I have shown here. Let's say we have to move from A to B. Then there are 2 possibilities. Either we stay in the first move, either we stay on A only. So there is a self loop here, which is equal to 0.3. And the other possibility is we go to the state B and then we stay there. So as you can see in the calculation part, the first probability was in the first move, we stayed at A, that is 0.3. That in the next move, we move to B, that is 0.7. So that is 0.3 into 0.7 plus. The other possibility was we first moved to state B, that is 0.7. And then we stayed at state B, that is 0.2. So that will be 0.35. So and another thing can be done is we can find this probability by finding the solution of the problem, which is exactly the reverse of it, and then subtracting it from 1. So that will be that will come as 1 minus 0.65. So that will be also equal to 0.35. So here's a little bit mathematical introduction for that. And here is the introduction of a library which we'll be going to use. It is known as Markovify. So quickly read on what is written here. So why we will be using a Markovify library is that in practical cases, we do not have simple choices between 2 things or 3 things. In practically, it is a possibility that we are dealing with thousands and lakhs of choices to care. So for human, it becomes difficult to keep track of the calculation. So we'll be using Python library known as Markovify to do that for us. So here is how we'll be using that. So it's an introduction of what is Markovify. As you can see here, what we'll be doing is it takes a large input of text and runs some sort of calculation on that. I'll be not be including the calculation part because it is go into a deep mathematics sort of thing. But I'll be sharing a link with you if you want to do some further studies on that. I'll share the link at this point only. Okay. So I'll be sharing a link of brilliant.org. A nice mathematical introduction is given here. Please go through it. It is really very engaging and fun. involves a bit of probability and matrix calculation. So let's resume on to our course. Okay, these are some things I guess you already know. So let's get started. So these are the things which we already did in the last part of the workshop. So I'll be skipping that. And now the final work starts. So guys, quick, I'll be copy pasting this link in the chat. Please go through this link. If you don't have a glitch ID, quickly create one, and then I'll be telling what to do next. We'll be doing a live coding session. You will all will be coding along with me only. So quickly go to the link, and if you do not have registered yourself on Glitch, so quickly make an account. I'll be waiting for a minute or two, then we'll resume. If for those who don't know, Glitch is a online website for hosting our codes and projects, sort of like GitHub only, but it also runs the project on cloud only. So we don't have to set up a local environment on our machine to build projects. I'll be waiting for a minute or two. Till then, if you don't have your account, please make one.
Okay, I created my account.
Okay, nice. I guess now then I should jump back to the next slide. So if you guys you are done with creating your account, please go through this link, and at the bottom, after you go through this link, at the bottom of the page you will see a button known as Remix Your Own. This will be creating a local copy of this project, so quickly do that also. I'll be showing, okay, I'll also show you how it works. As you can see in the bottom of the screen, there is a button known as Remix Your Own. Once you click on that button, it will create a local copy of that project in your repository. So quickly do that, and it will look something like this. I have already done for myself, so I'll be okay. Here is a sample of that project. Here you will be writing the text, and it will be carried on for that. Give me a minute, I am finding my already created project. So once you click on the Remix on Your Own button, you will see a directory of files like this. So I hope you would have done that. You will be seeing a directory something like this with few files like config, glitch, main, Markov, MLS tutor API, sort of this. I hope you all have done that. So I'll be continuing on. Okay, so for people who have attended the last workshop, we did the scraping using Twitter API. So that was something we did to learn how to create a scraper. Now we'll be doing some stuff which is remotely related to artificial intelligence. Yeah, so this is important part. In this your files directory, you would be seeing a file name .env, which stands for environment. So I'll be showing you some text. Please copy paste this text in this. It will look something like that. There is an environment key for MLS Twitter API, a Twitter fetcher name, an environment for Flask, and the port at which our Flask will run. So this text can be found here in the slide. So quickly copy paste this. Okay, I'll copy paste it in the text section. I've pasted it in the text box. Quickly copy it and then paste it into your local environment. We are doing this stuff to create an environment in which our project will run. So let's head to next part. So yeah, here is just exploration of all the files given in our project. And here is an introduction of files which we will be using. So first is MLH Twitter API.py. So this file is not doing much, but scraping the tweets with the help of Twitter API, and then returning those tweets to us so that we can run our Markov model onto the tweets. This Markov.py is the main logical files which we'll be using today. And it will be building a Markov model and then deploying that Markov model on the tweet scrape from this file. Okay, so here is we'll be starting the code part now. So I hope every one of you have set up the environment till now. So what I need you to do is to open this Markov.py file on your Glitch repository, and we'll be writing a code in this Markov.py file. So these are the functions which we'll be editing. The first is generate bot answer with text model. The next is generate bot answer. This will be generating a responses, and this function will be basically calling this above function to generate a responses. So what you need to do is once you open the Markov.py file, you have to write an import statement there. Import statement will be importing a secondary file into our current file. So that import statement, as you can see here, is import Markov file. So if I open my Markov.py file, I have written that code already for you. You can see the highlighted version here. It is import Markov file. So what we are doing in this statement is we are importing the Markov library here. I hope you would have written that statement. Now we'll be doing the main logical part of today's project. Yeah, so here's a short review of that. So there is a function already defined known as generate bot with text model. So what we'll be doing is we'll be writing a code in that function to generate the responses for a chatbot. So first you have to do is define a variable known as bot answer and equate it to none. I'll be going through the slides, then I'll be showing you the code which I've already written. So in case you face any problem, you can refer to that code part. So once you have defined the bot answer as none, we'll be writing a word list. Word list will be nothing but it will just separate individual words into a form of list. So here dot split function does nothing but separate the list on the basis of white spaces. If you don't understand that, I'll just show you how it is that. So for example, let given text is my name is Vedant. So if you perform the split operation, we get text list as my name, Vedant. So it is. So in this way, the split function is running over the string which we pass on to it. So after defining the list, we'll be using random module to get a random word from the generated list. So this random.choice functions throws a random word from the list which we have just created. So what we will be doing is we'll be using that bot answer variable which we defined earlier, and then running a text model dot make sentence with start. It is a default inbuilt function provided by Markovify library. So what it does is, what is happening till now is we first pick a random word from a generated list, and then we'll be starting a sentence from that word. So this will be done by this text model dot make sentence with start function. You have to pass two parameters here. First is user question, the thing which will be entered in text box, and then strict is equal to false. So this strict is equal to false is an extra check here. So now in the next line, as you can see, it is written that if bot answer is equal to none. So it, since this Markovify library works on a mathematical model of probability, so it's a probability that not every time we get a correct word to start a sentence, or it may return some none variable also. So if the variable is none, we'll be using another function which says that which is known as text model dot make sentence. So it will be using this function to make sentence out of that word. And even if it fails, so what we will doing is we will be recursively calling a original function. So the original function was generate bot answer with text model. So now it says that even after performing the make sentence function, if still our bot answer variable is none, so we will just recursively call our original function with the same set of parameters. As you can see at the bottom of the slide is written, if we still don't have a response, we'll call this function again.
Could you wait a few seconds? I'm just writing the code.
Yeah, sure.
For the code once again.
Here is the code I've already written for you. You can also refer it from this here.
Okay.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, yes, for me. What about others?
Okay, I'll just wait for a minute or two till they are finished with writing the function. After the call this function recursively, at the end of it, we'll be returning the bot answer. So this bot answer at this point contains the response which we have got after using the Markovify library. So we'll be returning this bot answer and we'll be using it in the bottom function. Now subsequent few upcoming 2 or 3 slides contains a part of debugging. So I think we have done everything correct by now. So I'll be quickly skim through that because it is not required as such. So it asks us to run the code at this point of time. But if you can see here, it asks us to run the code, but we haven't at this point of time utilized the function. So if we run the code at this point, it will say something like, sorry, I could not process that, try again. So it is just fiddling around with that function and helping us to teach in sort of a way, teaching us to debug our code. So one of the methods to debug our code is to include a print statement. We won't be using it here. So see, here is the reason the print function which we used here to debug our code was not working. Why it was not working? Because we haven't used Markovify library yet. So there are a few things which we have to do to actually make Markovify library to perform a request, and these things are mentioned in its documentation. So here is a screenshot of its documentation. So, and a basic way to how Markovify library generally works. So here it is just importing a text form. Then it is building a text model using Markovify.text function. And then in this line, it is printing top 5 randomly generated sentences here. So I think by now you would have understood what part of this code we will be using. So that part is this under red box. This part is actually building our Markovify model, and we haven't used it till now. So our application is returning nothing. So we'll be using it now. So go on to the next function, which is known as generate bot answer. The function which is just below our given function. The first function was generate bot answer with text model. The next function is generate bot answer. So we'll be writing this piece of code there. I'll be jumping back to the slides. So first we will be using is get user tweets. So people who have followed from the last workshop, they know that we created last time a function known as get user tweets to actually scrape the tweets out of Twitter through our Twitter API. So we'll be using that get user tweets function to return a list of tweets in this tweets variable. Then we'll be using another function which we created last time. It was known as clean underscore tweets underscore data. And then we will be pre-processing these tweets to remove unnecessary strings and characters from that string. And we'll be storing that cleaned part of the string in this clean tweets. By the way, the people who are new for today, they don't need to write these functions. They are already written in your code base. So you can just simply copy what is written and carry on. So once we get the pre-processed tweets from this cleaned tweets, what we'll be doing is we will be making a concatenated text out of them. So we'll be using the default Python join function and then converting every cleaned tweets string to the str form here, and then joining it into a one single large block of text. This text is this stored in this text variable here. Now we will be doing actually using the model of Markovify library. So what you have to write here is text model is equal to markovify.text. Beware the text is T capital here. So it is a inbuilt function of Markovify library. So we will be building that model out of the text which we created in the last line. Once our model is created, we'll be defining the bot answer variable here and then calling the previous function which we just made a few minutes back. So I'll show the code to you. As you can see here in the first line, forget fetch by now. It can also be replaced with generate user tweets. So what we did is we scraped the tweets. We stored that scraped tweets in the tweets variable. We perform the pre-processing of the tweets by using our clean tweets data function. Then we made a single large block of text using those clean tweets. Then we created a model, Markovify model on based on that text. So this previous text is passed as a parameter here, and then we get an instance of model stored in the text model variable. Now what we will be doing is we will be calling this function here, generate bot answer with text model function. We'll be calling it at this point of time. So the parameters will be Twitter handle, user question, and text model. This text model is the one which we just created here, text model. We'll be passing it as a parameter here. Then we'll be getting an answer. So we'll be just returning that bot answer here. So at this point of time, our Markovify logic is complete. By writing just two functions, we have completed the Markovify logic here. If someone wants, I can also share this piece of the code to refer later. Let me. So I'll be sharing this link with you. If you face any problem, I have shared an instance of that code on IDE1, you can access it through the chats. So let's carry on. So here is the debugging part again. So we'll just skip it and come to the main part. So okay, we at this point of time we have completed our Markov function. Now we will be going to the main.py file and then calling this Markov from that point. So I have already done for you. Let me first go through the slides and I'll show you my code. So here we write a statement from Markov import star. So what this import star does is it imports everything we have created in the markov.py file. Or else you can also write from Markov import generate bot answer, because that is the function which we will be needing in the main.py file. So it says that on line 25 we have to add this line, bot underscore answer is equal to generate bot answer. This generate bot answer is a function which we created a few minutes back, and then pass the Twitter handle and question parameter to that. Once we are done with this, our application is ready. So I'll just show you the code first. Main.py. So as you can see here, I have highlighted that line. I have written from Markov import generate bot answer. Or else you can also do is from Markov import star. So after that, after I imported that, I have added this line here. Bot answer is equal to generate bot answer and pass the parameters Twitter handle in question. This generate bot answer is the same function which we created in markov.py file. The generate bot answer. This is that function. So at this point of a time, our code is complete. For people who have joined today, there are few things which may confuse you, but please ignore them for now, because these are things which we did last time to set up the environment or our application. So now what you can do is try our application which we have just built. So what you can do is to show this application, click this show button, and then you can click next to the code or in new window only. So if you click in new window, it will run your code here. It will run the main.py file here. So if you can pass any handle of Twitter and then type your messages here. So before doing that, we'll just improve our code for a few things. So I'll be showing you how to do that. This is that part. So as you might have remembered, in the generate bot answer function, in the first line, this line number 33, we used a function known as get user tweets. So get user tweets is a function which actually is scraping a very less amount of tweets. So instead of that, we'll be using a predefined function which is known as fetch. So fetch, and if you might have any idea, the machine learning models need a large and large amount of data to actually train themselves and learn. Since this Markov model is also a machine learning / mathematical model, we'll be needing a large data set to perform it properly. So we'll be using this fetch function here. So you can go to a repository and just instead of get user tweets function, you can use a fetch here. After that, your app will be complete. So I have done that part in mine. I'll just show you. So markov.py, and here is text model. So as you, here is a text model. As you can see, I've already used the fetch function here. So after that, I have just clicked the show, and here I have got the main chat application. So let's see if it is working or not. Sometimes it takes time to scrape tweets because it is not able to connect to the API. But if it is not showing you something in red text boxes, then your application is working fine. It is just taking time to connect to the API. So what you can do is you can restart the application or just wait for some time or try changing the Twitter handle. It's like Jimmy Fallon. Okay, so I got the first reply here from Jim Fallon. The reply says that happy Hamilton Day. I wish I could do after you did Hot Ones with me. So this may seem meaningless, and sometimes it sure is. It is because if I go back and show you how it was working. So see, what it what at this point of time what it did was we scraped the tweets from the Twitter handle here, then we cleaned those tweets. Now these tweets can be related to anything. So after cleaning to those tweets, when we made a Markovify model out of that, so what model did is it extracted every word that occurs in tweets, and then it calculates the probability based on mathematical calculation that what word follows the given word. So after calculating those probability, it returns us, it makes a sentence out of that those words and returns us to it. So these are not actually tweets which were created by Jimmy Fallon, but this is a meaningful sentence which are created by jumbling those tweets which was made by Jimmy Fallon. So if I say okay, so let's see what the response is. So I get the response that could be on Tonight Show. Same on that he gave me a pin. So let's say we'll say something like you. So now it started a text with you. So it says that you covered a new medication tracks to keep up with comedians and Tonight Show. So I'll just, you can also try and try writing few words and try to test the application, and also go to some other Twitter handles. If I go to Harish Twitter handle and I say okay, so let's see what the response is. Okay, Harish Bhaiya, are you online?
Harish? He seems to be away.
Okay, so this is Twitter handle of Harish Bhaiya. So you can ask him later that this is actually a tweet which he created. But maybe this is not a tweet which he created, but these are parts of different tweets which he created. So these tweets are now jumbled into a meaningful sentence with the help of a Markovify library which we used. So
Can you
let's
try
say
the DSC handle?
okay, please tell me what it is.
DSC NIT Rourkela.
Is it correct?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. So Abel Bhaiya, do you remember something on the lines of this?
Yeah, we had posted it, something along those lines. Can you try some few more sentences like how are you or something?
I don't think it will work on how are you, because at this point of time we have implemented a very basic function of that. So yeah, it says sorry I could not process that. So at
So it
presently
takes
it
only
will
one word.
what?
It takes only one word?
Yeah, it will at presently it will work only on one word. So if I say how, then it will show me this.
This is something that we have taken. Yeah.
Yeah, so on it is working fine for one word. If I say fine, let's say okay. Yeah, so Abel Bhaiya, can you tell me that this is not a single tweet and just a meaningful mixture of other tweets, because that's what the library is doing, I guess. Hello.
Sorry, what?
Did you hear me?
Could you repeat?
Yeah, sure. So can you tell that this is like, can you confirm that this is not the exact tweet which you tweeted, but mixture of many tweets?
Yeah, it is because we have no tweet starting with hashtags, so it is evident that it is a mixture of the tweets that we had done. So
Yeah, so like we can assure ourselves that the Markovify library is working fine. So if I say R, so it jumbles a meaningful sentence, as you can see here. So now we have implemented a very basic version of library. So if you expect that we get tweets which are like many very meaningful or all kind of responses. So you would have to write a lot of code and do a pre-processing for that. But this is pretty good for writing writing 5 to 10 lines. Yeah, so we have come to the end part of the workshop. So I'll be sharing the link of the quiz with you. You can go there and check your understanding part. So here's that link. I'll copy paste it in the chat. You can give this quiz anytime. So guys, that's it. We have completed a basic Markov chain bot application today. So if you have any doubt, please go on and ask. Or if you have faced any trouble till this point of time in writing this application, please tell us. Abel Bhaiya, do you want to ask anything? Or do you want to share anything?
No, like I can see it's working. It's good. It's working.
Another thing is like I have shared the Brilliant link with you. So I'll just open it and show you that this Markov thing is really cool if you have interest in mathematics. So this is for further reading, but you can go through this and do a few probability and matrix based mathematics to understand more on how Markov chain actually works. And there is a yeah, that's it. I'll wait for a few minutes to for doubts. Then I guess we'll be closing the session.
Thanks Vedant, and thanks everyone for joining. If you have any concerns or doubts or anything even not related to the workshop, if you want to ask us anything, feel free to ask us. Staying on call for the next few minutes to help you out. Okay, I suppose no one has. So thank you all for joining. Stay safe. Good night.
Bye.